welcome to Positives.
Oh, you look like you're itching to play some video games.
Yeah, I could take you as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, right? But even if you're not, it's probably because you've not played the right Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Yeah, we've got the right Sonic game for you right here. This.
This? Yeah, this! Sonic Forces!
We can tell you everything you want to know about this great game.
So here's the deal. The game is about a bunch of small furry creatures that are taking on a gigantic army run by a big fat man named Dr. Robotnik. He looks like a beach ball, but it doesn't matter because the problems with this game go beyond that. You see, this game has tons of rough dialogue, poor dramatic sequences, and a plot that really doesn't go anywhere. But see, one of the worst problems is that in this game, you barely get to play as Sonic. And that's probably why we found a box of these outside of a gas station where the person literally couldn't sell them, so he just had them back there, and we picked it up and brought it back here, and now it's just stealing shelf space. What?
You're trying to sell the game, you numbskull?
Yes, that's true. And you know what? There are a lot of good things about this game as well.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about 4 of them.
Yeah, let's find the positives.
If my little rant earlier frightened you, then buckle in. I barely scratched the surface of all the problems you'll find with Sonic Forces. But like we said, it's important to know the problems of this game before we touch on any of the good.
Without further ado, let's get our issues and grievances with this title out of the way.
First off, let's talk about Sonic sorta dying.
Nice. The game starts off with you playing as Sonic the Hedgehog. Directly after completing the very first level, a cutscene shows Sonic being defeated by almost every enemy he's ever known.
We're talking Chaos, Shadow the Hedgehog, Metal Sonic, and that guy from this thing that nobody ever played.
But the most important reveal here is of the new, ultra-powerful antagonist, Infinite. The game is so clear about Sonic's defeat here that you get an overly dramatic scene with a black screen and white text.
With Sonic defeated, Eggman's army quickly took over. Within months, all but a few isolated areas in the world were under their control.
Oh, is that it? It's over? Roll credits.
It isn't.
6 months later, a group of Sonic's friends form a resistance to take on the evil Dr. Robotnik, also known as Eggman. In the time that's passed, his army has grown to a massive size, unseen in any previous game. At this point, he practically runs the whole world. You immediately start playing as a brand new character that joins up with the resistance. Referred to as the Rookie, you're the voiceless sole survivor of a city that Infinite has lain waste to. This character witnesses firsthand the raw, unexplained power of Infinite in all its terrible glory. But how did the Rookie survive, you may wonder?
I'll let you live.
Yup.
Infinite, just let him go.
Despite being an all-powerful, super evil death machine with no regard for preserving life, he randomly spares an inconsequential character for no reason at all. I mean, he took out Sonic with absolutely no effort.
But wait, we don't get as far as the second stage before it's immediately revealed that Sonic is alive.
Seriously.
Perhaps the worst thing about this is having the reveal happen so quickly. There was no time at all for the player to become invested in this plot point and experience the raw emotions of Sonic being truly gone. They could have made this moment powerful, but instead they handle it with no skill or grace.
They didn't even put any effort into making it look good. It's spewed out in the briefing section between the first 2 levels with the most minimal animations they could get away with. They use the same canned mouth movement animation again and again, regardless of what words are actually coming out of their mouths.
But don't worry, folks, it's revealed that not only is Sonic alive, but he has been consistently tortured for months on end without hope of being saved.
It's E. For everyone. 10 and up.
You can probably imagine what Sonic would look like after this treatment. Bearded, tired, and emaciated, having been treated so poorly all this time in captivity. Before you can say Sonic 3D Blast, the Rookie is off to the Death Egg on a rescue mission. They risk life and limb racing through Eggman's obstacles to get to Sonic in time to save him. But when you finally see him...
Oh, no, he's fine. It's as if nothing had happened to him at all. No scuffs, no scratches. He even looks well fed.
Perhaps the most fun element of this is that Sonic just happens to get freed by himself. When you finally see him, his energy shackles just turn off. What's his face from Lost World?
Zavik.
Okay, that guy lets him out to fight him or something even before the bracelets turn off. It really seemed like he was going to be freed anyway, so basically everything the rookie has been through up until this point ends up accomplishing next to nothing. It's very disappointing.
Speaking of disappointing, let's have a look at the game's first boss fight.
As soon as it starts up, you're forced to deal with really awkward camera angles because for most of this game, the camera is from a third-person perspective, meaning that you can only view the game world looking forward, and there's no camera controls. This creates an issue where if you were to walk towards the camera, there's a likelihood that you would fall off the stage, and you will.
We fell off the stage plenty of times. Perhaps the most annoying thing about this is that you're supposed to use Sonic's lock-on attack when you jump in the air. This method of attack has been used in plenty of older Sonic games. You jump once in the air and press the jump button again to lock onto an enemy and attack them. The problem here, though, is that the attack doesn't seem to work all the time on this boss. You'll try again and again and again with mixed results. I could look past this, I really could, but with this boss, you need to use the lock-on attack or you won't be able to hurt him at all.
Sonic bosses don't usually take very long to beat. In fact, the majority of other boss battles in this game don't last nearly the length of this one. And how long did it take for us to complete this boss battle? Over 20 minutes. 20 minutes! There's a chance you might play this and you won't have the problems that we ran into. But we were playing this game on Xbox One X, arguably the finest console hardware available to us, and we were still having issues with controls and performance all throughout the game. You'd think it would run a little better, but you simply can't rely on attacks working out, even if you know you perform them properly.
Now, speaking of controls, we gotta talk about how they're introduced.
You want to talk about controls? Don't get me started. The tutorial section at the beginning of the game treats the player like they've never picked up a controller in their life. It explains things that you would naturally understand after like 3 seconds of playtime. It's ridiculous. Worst of all, some prompts pop up immediately before you need to do the thing they're telling you to do. So you learn how to jump, then you have a split second to follow their instructions before you faceplant into the wall of dirt in front of you. Great. It's also at this point that you're introduced head-on to all the mechanics that don't work in the game, like attacking. You'll run into several enemies that don't get damaged by this broken battle system.
One of the most important aspects of Sonic the Hedgehog levels since, well, forever, is that you're timed in levels, and when you can't rely on attacks attacking, it harms your final score.
But this section here also showcases one of the greatest features that this game has: branching paths.
Ever since the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game, one of the most important gameplay designs was having the ability to take different paths to beat a level. Some newer Sonic games chose to leave this one essential element out. Sonic Forces, though, doesn't. It allows players to re-experience levels in a new way, potentially improving their final score by discovering faster paths and earning a quicker time.
Look, this is bare bones, and it should be expected of a Sonic game that's trying to incorporate classic elements into its design. The problem is, not all Sonic games do this, and sometimes they feel like they're missing a facet that made the series so great.
So the first positive is that levels in this game have branching paths.
Branching paths are a great feature, but sometimes the levels are very poorly made.
Example!
Right here, while speeding through the stage, I hit a literal wall. Typically in these levels, you're supposed to be running as fast as you can without stop, so I was a little confused wondering what went wrong here. I walked back towards the camera a little bit, and the game activated a sequence where it spawned a bunch of enemies. And it didn't do that the first time. After I defeated them, suddenly a grappling hook spawned that I was supposed to grab, allowing me to continue the level. Issues like this happen in the game constantly, and it makes the gameplay no fun at all, while also ruining your final score.
No, this isn't debatable, and it's not a personal preference. These are just obvious examples of the game being broken in sections. And keep in mind, everything that you're seeing here is from one playthrough. You usually don't see this many glitches in a game.
Nope.
See here, at this part, you're supposed to be defeating a whole bunch of enemies that appear around these destructible blocks. However, what ended up happening is that the enemies never appeared, but we didn't know what was supposed to be happening, so we just kept playing, assuming that we'd missed something. We waited a long time and eventually decided to restart the level. When we did, and repeated our gameplay in the exact same way, what do you know? The enemies appeared this time.
The game is just toying with us now, and can you blame us for getting a little frustrated with it? But anyway, back to the escape sequence from before. We join our friend Sonic fleeing from the space station. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we're in space right now, and Sonic, well, he can breathe in space! You know, this guy!
Oh, please, keep in mind, a threat made by the enemies in this game is that they want to jettison Sonic into space. Hardly threatening when he appears to have no issue surviving in that cold vacuum, defying gravity, and grinding his way to safety.
Sonic may be impervious to a lack of oxygen, suddenly, but there's one weakness that gets him every time. Glitches. And luckily, Sonic's enemies have mindfully included game-breaking glitches into most levels. Once in a while, Sonic won't be able to stay on the path of the stage and will fall through the floor or even a wall. This can reset the stage, forcing a respawn of Sonic, and however, this seemingly still counts towards your final score. I'm not even kidding, the game punishes you for its own mistakes.
And these glitches can be just largely visual, like screen tearing, which is present in nearly every cutscene in the game. Pre-recorded, in-engine, you always seem to see it. Now, you're probably thinking that the cutscenes in this game are passable? Maybe? But check this out. Let's do a little comparison. On the left, we have a cutscene from Sonic Forces in all its wonderfulness. On the right, we have another Sonic game called Lost World. Comparatively, it looks like a little more effort went into Lost World, doesn't it? Of course, quality can vary between two titles in a series, but what makes this particularly troublesome is that Sonic Lost World came out 4 years prior to the release of Sonic Forces. Really? They couldn't have tried just a little better?
Unfortunately, both the visuals and designs aren't so hot, and the general performance and quality of the pre-rendered video files themselves are surprisingly bad. This seems to be a problem not with the game itself running on a console, but with the way the creators made those video files. This shouldn't have any screen tearing at all, but it clearly does. However, the cutscenes do have a sort of saving grace, and that is that the voice acting in Sonic Forces is actually pretty good.
I was so worried. I thought you were...
You worry too much. Look, I'm perfectly fine. It's been generations since I seen you. You okay?
Good news is you're safe.
Sure, the dialogue is very poorly written.
Eggman said when the plan is completed, we'll all be wiped out.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
But when it comes to the performances from the voice actors, well, they did an admirable job. The cast from Sonic Forces has been featured in most of the Sonic games from the past couple of years, as far back as Sonic Colors.
You might be a fan of Sonic Boom.
The game?
No! Not the game! Never the game! Nobody actually likes that thing! Of course, I'm talking about the TV show.
But regardless, if you are a fan of that show, Sonic Forces may feel like a revisitation of these characters. After all, the vocal performances of all the core characters like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and even Dr. Eggman are all the exact same cast. They understand what these characters are all about and how they should sound. Unfortunately though, you don't get the writers from that TV show.
Without Sonic, the people are losing hope and giving into despair.
Despair is a luxury we don't have.
This is still a positive nonetheless.
Sometimes hearing a good vocal performance can save even the worst dialogue, so voice acting in Sonic Forces is our second positive.
But now it's time for us to finally talk about a character that was introduced in this game. Infinite.
Even after completing the game, I'm still not sure what the heck he is, who the heck he is, where the heck he came from, and why does he have super magic powers that bend time, reality, and space.
It's like the creators of the game blended every possible superpower they could think of and stuffed them all into a random Sonic character shell.
We were really trying to make heads or tails of Infinite's powers. It could be his powers feed off of the fears of others, or that the rock, called the Phantom Ruby on his chest, is mysteriously powered by, I don't know, mystery fuel. Point is, a little more backstory would have been nice.
What I want to know is why Infinite keeps letting people live. We saw it right at the start of the game. We were all convinced, for like 2 seconds, that Infinite had ended Sonic, but it turned out Infinite decided to spare his life instead.
And he also spared the rookie. Again, no reason given besides maybe alluding to the rookie having some tasty fear?
I can taste your terror, child. All that anxiety and doubt. It's delicious.
Okay, that's creepy.
Twice, Infinite let a character live, and twice that character has come back to confront him and mess up his day. You would think Infinite learned his lesson by now, but no. A little further into the game, Sonic gets another chance to take him on, and during the second battle, Sonic apparently defeats Infinite. However, right after the stage is over, a cutscene shows Infinite getting the upper hand. You would assume that he would finally land the killing blow, but instead, we get this.
You're not even worth the effort to finish off.
What do you mean you're not even worth the effort to finish off? He's toppled every single scheme ever devised by Dr. Robotnik. He's defeated every single monster, machine, mecha, you name it, and now his sights are solely focused on Eggman again. Yes, he's worth the effort.
Truth be told, there is a whole chunk of DLC that explains a large portion of Infinite's backstory, but you know what? It's not very good.
He's calling me weak. I am not weak. I'm not weak. I am not weak.
And it just raises more questions. It's a bizarre choice, considering that there are basically no new additional characters in this game. It's not like they had to spend a lot of time introducing a huge group of people. There was only one other newly revealed character, the Rookie. Their backstory is a brief cutscene that just explains why they joined the Resistance in the first place. It's hilarious to think that the voiceless random peon gets a more detailed backstory than arguably the main antagonist.
If your love for Sonic games goes way back, then the rest of the cast won't be new to you. But if your proficiency in obscure Sonic characters is a bit fuzzy, then you have some gaming homework to do. Going all the way back to Sonic 1, every character you've likely ever seen in the series is here with no introductions at all.
Except Big the Cat.
That's right, he didn't make it into this title.
Fishing probably would have made the game better.
Maybe.
You might be surprised to learn that there were games like Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X. You know, the Genesis add-on that turned your console into Frankenstein's monster. You're gonna see characters in Sonic Forces that you probably assumed you'd never see again.
And we're only talking about characters that you would have found in the game series themselves. You won't be finding Sally Acorn or anyone else from the animated shows.
But of course, you will find essential crew like Silver the Hedgehog, E123 Omega, Rouge the Bat, and you'll also find timeless characters like Charmy Bee, Espio the Chameleon, and Vector the Crocodile. You know, all the members of the Chaotix Detective Agency.
I feel like you made half of those up.
I didn't.
Alright, well if they expect you to already know who all these characters are, like you've played a billion Sonic games before it, why have that hand-holding tutorial explaining you how to push the jump button and what a ring is?
I'm really not sure, but it doesn't remove the fact that for longtime fans, you got plenty of friendly faces to look forward to seeing again.
I'll agree with that. So the third positive is that Sonic Forces features a great cast of characters from the whole Sonic series. Oh, and speaking about characters, before I forget, this game also features the appearance of classic Sonic. That's right, the original Sonic the Hedgehog that existed, I guess, before maybe the 3D games, I think.
Oh, you're that Sonic from another dimension, aren't you?
I'm not even sure, and I don't think the game is even sure, but you get 2 Sonic the Hedgehogs for the price of 1, just like Sonic Generations. And I personally think it's nice to see this character, whatever it is.
Well, Shane, apparently this is the Sonic from Sonic Mania.
What?
Get this. Sonic Mania has an ending that shows Sonic Mania Sonic and the Phantom Ruby both being sucked into a pink portal. The portal then closes, the Death Egg explodes, and particles in the sky turn into the shape of Sonic's winking face. For his friends, Sonic Mania Sonic's portal leads him to the Sonic Forces dimension. This is canon.
You mean to tell me that in order to understand this story, you need to have played several other seemingly unconnected Sonic games as well as Sonic Mania?
Anywho, back to the gameplay. Forces has tons of sequences where the viewing perspective changes into 2D. It looks like old Sonic games, and it's kinda like what we got in Sonic Generations.
Yeah, but awful. The stages are not designed with the same fluidity and care as in Generations, and in that game, the 2D sequences were distinct and felt very much like classic Sonic gameplay. And even the sequences with modern Sonic and Generations felt like a great deal of time went into them. Together, both stages played from either perspective flowed well and complemented one another.
In Sonic Forces, it really just doesn't work here. You're now dealing with modern Sonic the Hedgehog, classic Sonic the Hedgehog, and the Rookie's very different gameplay, making 3 different modes of play. This also gets even more complex when they merge the characters together in teamed up sequences that just become a whirlwind of crazy, random gameplay.
You can play it, and it does make some sort of strange sense. However, it never feels connected enough, and no one playstyle was given enough attention, so it comes off feeling like a rough mess. Sonic Forces is trying to be everything and suffers because of it.
Speaking of the parts in the game where you work as a duo, at one point Infinite banishes Sonic and the Rookie into the null space, a place where there's nothing and it's totally inescapable. This is a major threat that should have been about as much impact as Sonic's demise, don't you think?
So of course, it takes exactly 25 seconds, and yes, we timed it for Sonic and the Rookie to escape.
Do you want to know how they escaped from null space? Huh? Do ya?
They ran.
They ran fast.
Real fast.
The one way to escape from the inescapable dimension is to run.
They put Sonic, the freaking hedgehog, into a prison where the key to escape is running fast.
It can't be! It's impossible to get out of the Phantom Ruby's null space! It's impossible!
You think that's dumb? Wait until you hear what their big evil plot is.
Infinite summons the sun to crash into the planet and eradicate everybody and everything in its path. Why, you may ask? Well, we have no idea because, like we said, we know nothing about Infinite's motivations. Maybe if we knew what his origin was, we would understand why he and Eggman aren't fazed by the sun destroying the planet, an act, by the way, that will likely take them out as well.
Do they even know what they'll gain from this? What's the point of having all the power if you have no one to rule over? I mean, that's if they even manage to survive. At least in previous Sonic games, you can understand Robotnik is just trying to take over the joint or steal emeralds for power. But in this story, now that he has amassed a gigantic army and found a powerful accomplice in Infinite, he doesn't seem to know how to deal with it.
Oh, you're probably assuming they're going to leave the planet to perish and live on the Death Egg. You know, Robotnik's big spaceship. But is it self-sustaining? Is it really? Will it ever need repairs? Where do you think he gets his materials for his resources? You know all those levels we had just been running through with all those factories and those buildings and all that process of industrial work? Where do you think all that came from? Why do you think he needs that? No doubt the metal that he needs for his space base probably came from that very planet that they are about to destroy. Why get rid of it? This is stupid.
So, we've established that the gameplay is not very good, and that the plot is a string of incoherent ideas pulled out of some magical hat. You may be thinking, why should you play this game? 2 words: character customization. This is without a doubt the reason you should be playing, and one of the only reasons why I possibly will go back and play this game again. What we didn't tell you at the very beginning is that the brand new character we're playing as is a character that we personally designed. Sonic Forces gives you the ability to create a character from scratch. So, we created the weirdest looking character we could possibly come up with. Each level that you beat unlocks more clothing and further customization options in the end screen. It's a long sequence that showers you with unlockables. Unfortunately, the rookie doesn't have a voiceover here, but based off of their in-game dialogue...
True that.
we can only assume they sound like this. Yes, there are a metric ton of unlockable goodies that you'll find. This can be the driving force for continuing on and playing the game till the very end. And by having a character that's endlessly customizable, you can make cutscenes far more enjoyable. Like this.
Whatever it is has got them running in fear. All except for this brave kid who survived the battle and made it here in one piece. Meet our newest recruit.
Doesn't look like much.
Neither do you, Charmy.
Look, it's not like the cutscenes were very good to begin with. In fact, they're borderline terrible. But by inserting your own brand of crazy into a scene, suddenly you transform the terrible into comedy gold. You go from being upset that a cutscene is about to play to upset when your character isn't included in them.
There's a large Sonic community out there, and they've been crafting their own Sonic fan characters. And while I personally haven't done that before, you may have, and you can insert your very own character into this game and make them a part of the Sonic universe. And heck, maybe you're not the most creative type and you don't want to make a character from scratch. Well, you can use someone else's custom character from around the world, like this, or these, or... Okay, clearly this person just wanted to play as Sonic in a Sonic game. Overall, it's pretty fun to see what kind of creations other players have brought to the table.
And it's not just the cosmetic aspect of having a character that looks different, you also have the ability to choose a specific species that grants you additional abilities. This lets you customize the playstyle of the game a little bit further, and it's something that you typically wouldn't see in any other Sonic title.
But the best part is the weapons. Now, the Sonic series has seen weapons used before, you know, like with Shadow the Hedgehog, but here they have an even bigger impact on how you play. Like we mentioned earlier, the lock-on attack that Sonic has, it just doesn't always work. But as you continue to play, you get and unlock new weapons, like a flamethrower that will completely decimate all of your enemies. It may not be the traditional means of attack in a Sonic game, but it feels incredibly satisfying.
Every single weapon works very well, but the ones that do make a positive impact on the game. But still, there are a lot of problems with Sonic Forces, and maybe it's not a game that you can recommend to everyone, but the concept of customization for a unique character that you specifically design is a hallmark of this game. And that should definitely be something that comes back in the next entry in the series, if they even bother to make another one of these 3D Sonic games.
So, the final positive, and the one that we think has the most impact, is character customization. It is the best reason anyone could have for suggesting you play Sonic Forces.
So all of that was Sonic Forces.
Yes, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst Sonic game.
Yeah, not like Sonic Boom,
Or Sonic 06,
or Sonic 3D Blast,
or Sonic Shuffle.
or Sonic... You know what? That doesn't matter. Play the game and you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, and come back again next time, because maybe we'll have something else, like this.